Audio's going. Get ready for the last regular TMS episode of the week, you mother scratchers.
Yeah.
I hope you enjoy it because it's coming whether you like it or not. In 3, 2, 1.
Does your tape collection look like this? Then you need a K-Tel tape selector. With special attachments, it fits conveniently in your car, stores all your tapes neatly, ready for easy selection. Tilt the first tape forward. The others follow automatically. Take your selection when it appears. When replacing tapes, Tape Selector automatically finds the proper place. In your home or in your car, protect your valuable tapes with Tape Selector. $4.99 from K-Tel.
The morning stream, 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 the morning stream.
The Morning Stream. We wish you were here.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the show that has trouble organizing its tapes as well. I'm Scott Johnson. That's Brian Ibbett. Hi, Brian. How are you?
Hi, Scott. Hold on. I'm writing in my calendar. Okay. January 13th, 70s style version of opening theme. Okay, good. All right, good. I'm good.
Before you know it, I'll freak you out and go. You'll be like, what?
Oh,
what?
yeah.
What is that? I don't know what that is.
Oh, that one, too. Yeah.
I haven't played the bow in a long time. I don't even know where that is. I don't even have it out. But, yeah, we're back. It's TMS. It's January 13th. It's the year is 2022, and we're here, just barreling into the month, just making it work.
Yeah, I mean, we're almost halfway through January, and
yeah.
All right, I'll jump on the I'm in disbelief bandwagon about how quickly this month is already going. But,
yeah.
Time goes the same speed all the time. There's no switch that makes it go faster, slower, whatever.
Yeah.
But
Goo runs uphill, Goo runs downhill. I don't know what that means, but it feels like it fits. Time is an unstoppable force, and here we are.
That's right.
Being forced by it forward. It's good to be back, everybody. It is your normal Thursday business. My sister will be here later. We got stuff from her. Got some stuff with Amy coming up. Fun stuff. But before we do anything, dream time. You ready for this?
Get the cards. Dream time.
Well, I looked in the cards. There's nothing in there even close to this. So yesterday, and you're in it. This is why this is great. You're in my dream.
Oh, God. All right.
I took a very short 20-minute nap because I slept so bad the night before that I just was like, I need to lay down for a minute. So I hopped on the couch, brought one of the dogs with me, curled up, beautiful 20 minutes, set an alarm, like wake me in 20, boom.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Good.
I wake up in 20, and I have the following memory of the following dream. Brian was in the dream, and here's how it went. We were in like a 3-ring circus sort of setup, except it didn't feel like a tent. It felt like a giant warehouse with huge ceilings. More like a
Cirque du Soleil kind of show.
Yeah, but the space was like a hangar almost, like something they'd use on Mythbusters to do a test in there or something like that.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Just really
right, like
a place you
hangar kind of thing.
Yeah, a place you'd keep like a big jumbo jet or something like that.
Yeah.
And there's a trapeze thing, which is like swinging back and forth. And the only person on that trapeze the entire time this is going on is Brian Ibbett, and he is naked on the trapeze swinging. All right? So you're up there just going, wee, and you're not saying anything. You're just swinging back and forth, completely butt naked. You got this look on your face. Like Brian's got a happy resting face where he's just chilling. He doesn't, you just having, hey, there's a guy that looks like he's having a good time kind of face. That's the face you've got on. All right, just swinging.
So really, I mean, just a calm face while I'm swinging on a trapeze naked. Like I'm not. It's not my struggling face or my thinking about grabbing the next trapeze face. It's like,
no, it's just, hey, I'm up here, I'm swinging. So that was number one weird thing. Number 2, I'm down at the bottom.
By the way, was I doing this over an open cocktail on a bar that you were drinking?
No.
How about that for a callback from like 6-7 years ago?
Yeah. What was the Chinese or the Japanese place you went or something?
No, it was a bar in Vegas called Rum Jungle, where after a certain time you'd get trapeze artists going back and forth across the ceiling over the bar while you're sitting there having a drink.
Gross.
And you were very worried about pubic hairs falling off of those people through their leotards into your open drink.
Or even just somebody's like a little bead of sweat escapes one of their pits,
Right,
falls into the sky and lands in your drink. No, thank you. But anyway, so
All
I'm
right,
down
so
below.
yeah.
So you're swinging. I'm down below fighting a lion with a broom. And by broom, I mean like a kitchen broom. Didn't make any sense. Not going to do any good.
Okay.
But I'm down there going, rah, rah, like trying to stop a lion from getting at me. So still we're very much in the circus mode. Apparently the not safe for you or safe for work circus mode because Brian's up there naked. But anyway,
naked.
Yeah, being a swinger, of course. So that's going on. And then Lara Palmer was there. Now, before you think, oh, Lara Palmer from what's the show?
Twin Peaks.
Twin Peaks, the wrapped in plastic, all that.
Yeah.
No, this was her head on Arnold Palmer's body. The golfer.
What?
Yeah.
Okay. Laura Palmer's head on. So Cheryl Lee, the actress who played Laura Palmer's head.
Yes.
On Arnold Palmer's body. Was he talking to Kevin Nealon about erectile dysfunction?
No, but
not
she
being
was
able to pee or something.
She was dead faced like she always was in Twin Peaks. So she was always she's just kind of pale and her eyes are open and stuff, and she never makes any other expression. But her body and her whatever she's moving around and it's Arnold Palmer's body.
How do you know what Arnold Palmer's body looks like without Arnold Palmer's head on top of it?
It's like a golfer guy with a golf shirt and khaki golf pants and golf shoes. Like he looks like he does on the cover of a video game he'd be
Golf
in.
Digest.
Yeah. Just kind of walking around looking for whatever. So he's just walking around with a golf club in his hand, just walking around being Lara Palmer, a combo of Lara Palmer and Arnie Palmer in the same body.
Weird.
It was really weird. So I have okay, let me start this. The only explanation of any of this here is that I know you. So you being in the dream maybe isn't that unusual.
No, that part makes sense.
That's it. What else? Nothing
that really
else.
is the only part of it that makes sense. I mean, the trapeze. What could the trapeze represent? Like me being on a trapeze.
Yeah, what does that represent?
And then you fighting a lion. I mean, there has to be some symbolism. You're going up against something very difficult with unprepared with the wrong implements to go against it. So the broom against the lion feels like, all right, well, that seems like some stress symbolism, like you're having a hard time.
Right, I don't have the right tool for as big of the problem is or something like that.
Right, exactly.
Okay. I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see that, but then how do you explain naked you on the trapeze?
Yeah.
That doesn't make, I can't find a parallel. I can't find a connection. Like, no, there were no phallic symbols, Dross, in the chat asked. There was nothing like that.
By the way, I mean in the realm of how I'd like my friends to see me naked. That an upshot, like looking up at me on a trapeze, has to be near the very bottom of that list.
Yeah, I mean, I have to admit, I'm not full of detail here. I don't have like.
Hey, that's great. As long as maybe in your dreams stuff was pixelated out, that's probably for the best.
Yeah. Do you know this? What was it? Do you know this? This is terrible. But we were talking about the Righteous Gemstones the other day. You and I were talking about recommendals and stuff, and you'd recommended it, and I'd forgotten, and blah blah blah. And anyway, I started finally watching that show here and there. And just the first season.
God, it's so damn good.
It's really good.
What a great cast.
Completely surprised me how well Judy alone she steals every scene she's in.
Yeah, I tweeted out. She was actually the only one I think that responded, but I tweeted out to Judy and the gal from the first season of Fargo, the TV show, the woman cop, not Carrie Coon, but. Anyway, tweet out to the two of them saying some of the best unintentional humor on TV or unaware humor, and she tweeted back and said thank you or something.
Oh, that's really nice. Well, she's very freaking funny.
God, she's hilarious.
But anyway, so I'm watching that thing, and what was my point? I had a point with this. Okay. Do you know the scene? So when they find they're getting blackmailed by that tape, right? So
yep.
So they're Jesse, the character Jesse is shown snorting coke, and there's a bunch of naked ladies around. And then at one point, I don't remember the character's name, but the bald white guy that's in on all this is standing there just naked. And then there's a scene where Jesse's explaining this on a giant projection screen, and the whole time you're just looking at that dude's doodle. I can't think of his name.
That's right.
So that's what I'm. See, Brian's just up there with his doodle out. That's what it was.
All right. Okay, that's probably what it is. Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
So maybe that pulled from the
naked
show.
bald guy, sure. And
Sure, maybe.
Maybe.
I don't know. I don't know why I'm fighting a lion. Maybe the lion is COVID, and I have very few tools to fight it with. I got my crappy little vaccination stick over here, which is a broom in the dream, and maybe that's what that is. I don't know. But the Lara Palmer bit,
the Palmer Oreo that you've created, the Palmer s'more, that you've built in your head.
Dead lady's head, live man's body, and he's actually dead, so that's weird. And then he's walking around, he's not saying anything, and he's got a golf club. You won't even see that as a circus. The other two things, maybe, like you could go to a
maybe
kind of
the Jim Rose circus sideshow thing that had the Enigma and.
Yeah.
Do you remember those guys?
I do.
The super tattooed puzzle piece guy and the guy who could lift cinder blocks with his nipples and stuff like that.
They're not still around, are they? I love that stuff, but that's not a thing.
I don't
anymore.
know.
Yeah. People can only take that so much, I think, and then you got to move on.
Yeah, you saw those guys on X-Files and thought, oh, that was weird. And then I found out, oh, no, that's an actual traveling circus show that comes to town.
Did they have a Vegas residency at any point? It seems like a thing.
They had to have, right? I'm figuring that, someplace off-strip for sure.
Oh, yeah. Those are dark tickets.
Friendly's Casino on Colville Avenue.
Yeah, we're nestled between two sex shops and a
Colville and Tropicana.
Yeah, you gotta watch
right across from the Kiss branded miniature golf course.
Yeah, that's the part of Vegas we're talking about, folks. Anyway, so there's that, and I just thought I'd share it. Yeah, if anyone at home has any ideas,
right before your nap, by the way, Did
I
you have
had
some weird for lunch?
I had Taco Bell wings again. Because you told me they were going away yesterday, I had to get another set, and my free taco of the day. So I did have.
So you had lunch after 2. Look at you.
I ate late. Yes, it was very late, and I had to hurry because, let's see, when did that? So wait, hold on. The nap happened late because I had Tom at 2, so I ate right before Tom, and then 2:00 was Daily Tech News Show, and then I did that until whenever that ended, and that's when I went to lay down for a while.
Interesting.
So it was a late kind of lunchy thing, and it was, Taco Bell 2 days in a row. Maybe that's enough to F you up. I don't know. But it says here that you also got those Taco Bell wings.
I did. I went and got those wings yesterday, and oh my God, they were so good. Yeah. They are. So let's clarify. I mean, these are not your Buffalo Wild Wings, like gently tossed in sauce kind of thing. These are deep fried within an inch of their lives. Buffalo wings.
Oh yeah, crispy as crispy gets, for sure.
Crispy as crispy gets, and it's right there. It's right there in the name, crispy buffalo wings.
Yeah.
But they were so damn good, and then you get a little bit of like a ranch, Southwest ranch kind of sauce to dip them in and stuff.
Yeah.
But
it's good.
Tina and I split a box of them, and were we supposed to get 6 or 5? Does it come with 5 or 6?
Oh, you know what? I have the box here. Let's see if it says.
I don't know. Does your box? Oh, do you have a box that's more than just a square piece of cardboard?
I don't remember. Oh, it is a square.
Oh
piece
yeah,
of
yeah.
cardboard.
You have the same box, yeah.
Yeah, because I guess they're doing. This was just a test, so they'll probably, if this goes big, they'll have real,
Yeah, count the bones. Open it up. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. Actually,
okay, so iCourse says 5. All right, so it was supposed to be 5. All right,
yep, there are 5 bones in this box. That's it. 5.
Here we go. I was kidding about counting the bones.
I did. They were right there.
Because I was gonna complain to Mr. Bell that that we only got 5 wings when I thought we were supposed to get 6.
Reginald F. Bell is his name, and he's a real wiener
yes.
when it comes to giving people less than they paid for. But I'm glad you liked them. Isn't it weird though?
Yeah.
They shouldn't be good.
It is weird. They shouldn't be good. But they're good because they're just deep fried to hell. I mean, Seinfeld had it right when he told Newman, "You'd eat anything." What was it? It was like, "You'd eat a zucchini deep fried," or something like that. There was some line on Seinfeld during the Kenny Rogers Roasters episode.
Yeah, because he wouldn't eat the vile weed. He wouldn't eat the. Is that the same episode? Yeah.
Because I think they had deep fried veggies. Kenny Rogers had deep fried okra or something.
Yeah. And he tried to get him to eat broccoli, and he says, "I'll eat it, no problem." starts to eat it, and then he freaked out and yelled vile weed and spit it out. It was great. It was a great time.
Exactly.
Well, hey, Taco Bell, if you're listening, I hope this becomes a thing. That'd be great. Make it permanent. Make it permanent.
Newman, you would need broccoli if it was deep fried in chocolate sauce.
That's the line.
That was the phrase. Yeah.
There it is. That's a good one. All right. Hey, you guys, are you reading any books at home? Because if you're not, I have ideas for what you could do.
We have the suggestion for you.
Boy, howdy, is that the truth? So we're gonna add Red Fraggle, aka Amy Robinson.
Let's bring in the Amy slideshow.
That's right. It's gonna be good. Let's see what we got. I don't know if I have. Where's her thing? Oh, no. Yeah. Hey, look what it is. It's time for Read This with Amy Robinson. Yeah, that's right. Cuddle up and get next to us in your little beanbag chair at the local library, and let's find out what Mrs. Robinson brought with her today. Hello, Amy.
Well, cuckoo cachoo. Good morning to you guys.
Very nice. Cuckoo cachoo, back to you. That all rhymes. That's very nice. Hey, it's good to have you back. I assume your appointment went well. I didn't want to mess you up this morning with timing and stuff.
Oh, yes, it's great. If I get a little hoarse during my segment here, I apologize. It's because I had a therapy appointment, and so I could just get like a jumbo dose of therapy between this and Wendi later, and So anyway, I've been talking for an hour straight, and so if I get a little hoarse,
maybe you're just warmed up. Maybe you're. We should do that here. Brian and I should be yelling into our pillows before we do a show or something like that. I've heard
scream therapy.
Yeah, I've heard if you you get that deeper register the more you yell at stuff, and then you eventually sound like Howard Stern or somebody. You could probably do that.
Yeah. In my case, you get the nice Kathleen Turner.
Yeah.
Smoker
voice.
Dark
yeah.
voice.
Ooh.
Yeah. Right.
She's interesting now. Anyway, hey, you're back. I don't want to get too deep into where she's at these days. She's fine, I'm sure. I guess I don't know. Whatever. What is she doing? We don't know.
I don't know.
We should find out how she's doing. If someone got eyes on Kathleen Turner, because hope she's all right. Hey, Amy, so let's get into it. I'm still reading this Stormlight archive, so I'm very busily just trying to get through a massive, thick book right now. But I write down everything you recommend, and I'm sure you've got something cool this week. So lay it on us. What do you got?
Yeah, so I too am very busy. I'll go ahead and tell you guys. I'm super excited because my husband got me the McGruber engineering class for Christmas.
Yeah.
So I'm like doing all these cool little basic mechanical engineering lessons and stuff like that. So I'm probably
McGruber? What? McGruber? Really?
Wow.
Mark Rober.
Oh,
yeah.
Mark Rober, yes.
He's the guy that did the glitter bomb.
The glitter bomb, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, yeah. He had a new one this year that was fantastic. Like louder siren and more fart spray. Ah, so good.
Oh, this is the guy that did the giant T-shirt cannon I heard about this year or something, right? This is that guy?
He did that. It was like the world's biggest T-shirt cannon. He did that with like a Jimmy Kimmel thing. He has like a
the squirrel agility course.
Yep. All that stuff. Same guy. So yeah, he teaches an engineering class, and so yeah, you don't get like one-on-one FaceTime with him. At least I haven't so far. But there are all these really cool instructional videos, and then there's a little community you go and like share your ideas and bounce it off people and get feedback and stuff. So that is what I've been spending a lot of my free time doing. So I decided to kind of go back in my archives of stuff I've read for this week. And somebody mentioned online that they had never read anything by Neil Gaiman. So I have decided to recommend some Neil Gaiman.
My favorite single book, meaning no sequels, like just standalone novel, is American Gods. Like, forget about the TV show. A long time ago when I read the book, that book's still my favorite standalone book I ever read. So whoever that is. Yeah, go ahead.
Nancy Boys or Anasazi Boys or whatever. Isn't that the sequel to it though, or is no?
It's a spin-off, like an offshoot.
Okay.
Yeah, right. I still haven't read that. I heard it was good though.
But American Gods was fantastic.
So good. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so the book I was going to recommend this time, I was going to go all the way back and recommend Neverwhere. Yeah. If you haven't read Neverwhere, it's fantastic. And I'm really into kind of recommending books that have multiple ways for you to consume them at this point, because there is a fantastic BBC radio dramatization of Neverwhere, and it's got James McAvoy and Benedict Cumberbatch, and it is absolutely so entertaining and wonderful. Then also you can obviously read the book. I think it was made into a television show back in the 90s also. So, but yeah,
I've never even heard of this. I thought this was, well, I guess there's a new print of it on Amazon that says 2021, but I don't know why I've not heard of this book. Is that old? Like 90s, 80s?
So good. Yeah.
Neverwhere was his first novel following the Sandman series. So yeah, it's really, really very good. It's basically a kind of fish out of water type story where you get the main character is your normal guy. He's us. And then he gets sucked into the world of London below. And there's an entire just subculture of wonderful fantasy stuff going on under the streets of London that nobody knows about except the people who know about it. And he gets just sucked into this world. And so you get to go on this journey with him. And it's fantastic.
And the tube stations are all literal. So like King's Cross has kings, actual kings. And
yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I love this. This sounds great. I just don't know why I haven't heard of it. I'm annoyed that I haven't heard of it. It bugs me.
Well, it is fantastic, and I can tell you, like, I don't know anybody that likes anything fantasy related that doesn't like this book if they've read it. It is really excellent, and I always think about there's this one creature in the book. It's this very sort of attractive lady, and she seduces men to come in, and then but she's very, very cold. And essentially that's what she does is she steals their warmth, and then ultimately they get stuck down there and then they die or whatever. But I always think of that when I put my cold feet on my husband at night in the bed.
That's great. Ooh,
yeah,
Natalie.
I didn't realize there was like you were saying, the James McAvoy Cumberbatch thing. I had no idea there was a
Yeah, I didn't either.
like a radio version. I tried watching the TV show, and
well, the TV show's got those same people in it. I'm looking at the trailer right now. McAvoy's in it. I just saw Natalie Dormer's in it. I haven't
in
seen
the TV show or the
or whatever the video version is. I'm looking at the BBC. Let's see.
Okay. The BBC radio thing is so they're oh, interesting. Okay, so that's different than the TV show that came out in 1996. I thought this was like a kind of like the BBC radio redid the Star Wars and Hitchhiker's Guide.
There's Cumberbatch.
Where they added a bunch of stuff. Well, I guess Hitchhiker's Guide was a radio thing before it was a book, but where they redid Star Wars and added a bunch of stuff. That's what I thought this was. So this is actually a video thing.
Yeah, I think so, because I just saw Cumberbatch at the end, although they saved him for the end. I don't know what that means, but his character shows up at the very end of this trailer. It looks like that exact cast, and maybe they just took the audio from that and made a thing. I don't know.
Maybe, I don't know. I'm not actually familiar with the full video version of it, but I have listened to, I have Audible, which is where you can get the audio version of it, and I definitely recommend checking that out because it's really engaging. It's really good. Even if you're not an audiobook type person, this is not that. This is like, it's a radio play. It's they've got full Foley, and they're, it's not a one person reading a book and narrating it and having to affect different voices. It's literally different actors, and it is absolutely great.
See, that's the thing I want to see. Apparently, Scott, you were seeing a trailer for the radio play, is what people are saying in chat.
Oh, well, it's all like costumes and like sets and stuff. That's crazy. I wonder why they went to that much trouble.
They would go dress so much for.
Yeah, it's not them just sitting around microphones. It's like I don't know. They're all acting and running, and there's like sets and like special effects and stuff. I don't know what they're doing. Maybe they did both, but I'm looking at Goodreads' list of best Neil Gaiman books, and they have Neverwhere's #1 by rating on Goodreads as the best thing he ever wrote. I can't believe I'm like this dumb. I had never even heard of it before. American Gods #2, Graveyard Book #3, and Stardust at 4. I also love Stardust, and that movie's better than it should be. Do you ever see that Stardust movie? It doesn't exactly adhere to the book 100%, but Stardust is all right. It's a pretty good time. I liked it.
I've seen it all the way through. I've seen parts of it, but I don't know how I think it was one of those things that I missed it when it came out and then just never caught it again. But yeah, I think my husband has mentioned that he likes Stardust as well, so I think I'll have to go check that out.
Are you excited about the Sandman series coming to, I forget who's getting it, Netflix, I think.
Yes, very. I keep seeing that show up, in all my social media feeds. Every once in a while, they'll feed me an ad for that, and I'm like, yes.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. And there's one other on here that I really like. Where is it? Oh, I really like Coraline. Both the book and the adaptation are very awesome. But yeah.
Hey, you know what's interesting about Coraline is I actually saw that movie first because I'm obsessed with stop motion animation, and I love all the Leica Studios movies. I just dig them. I really, really enjoy their stuff. Yeah. And so I saw Coraline first before I read the book, and after I saw Coraline, I was like, oh wow. Like, it's animated, and so it's a little scary, but it's not super scary. But I thought, yeesh, reading the book, I might be a little too freaked out. I found the movie actually scarier than the book.
Oh, way more. Yeah, way more.
I was like, oh, okay, we're done already. We've already beat the other mother. All right, cool. Whereas the movie, they really fleshed out a lot more of that suspense.
Yeah,
so,
the book feels more like a fairy tale, a traditional fairy tale, and the movie feels like, because you can add that visual element and Leica Studios with their freaking weird ideas for how those characters are designed, the buttons for their eyes, all that stuff, just really added like a creepy factor to it that I really appreciate. But yeah, the tone is definitely different in the film version of it. But Neil Gaiman, he's awesome. All right, so Neverwhere, available wherever you get your books. I guess there is a brand new printing, new paperback version of it.
Yeah, there's the author's preferred text version. Is that what it says?
Yeah,
the author's preferred text version came out in 2005. So
I don't know what that means.
Like the director's cut of a book, basically.
Yeah, that's neat. Yeah. I guess when you become Neil Gaiman, you can go back to your earlier work and say, I did not want to cut that, but that editor made me do it.
Right.
So I'm Neil Gaiman now, so I can put that back in.
Yeah, he gets to do whatever he wants to do. Find out what I didn't know all these years, and that is there's a book called Neverwhere. Yeah,
totally checking out that the BBC Radio audio drama thing. That looks so cool.
So hold on a second.
Definitely recommend it.
It calls this book Neverwhere, and then in parentheses London Below #1. Does that mean there were sequels to this, and it just never? I don't see any sequels. So maybe this.
I don't remember any sequels to it.
Yeah, I don't think it ever materialized, but I think that there are plans to resurrect it and make it into more of a series. Maybe after they're done with Sandman, make it something more like what they did with American Gods, where they sort of wrapped up the story of American Gods in the first season, right? And then they had to do more. So similar to Good Omens, right? They told the entire story of Good Omens in that first season, and now everybody's like, oh, do we get more? Do we get more?
Yeah, and they're doing more. I don't know how that's going to be. Because they are out of the canon now, and they'll be making their own story. And he still has an executive producer slot with that, so I assume he'll have some say. And I don't know where that thing goes creatively, but I'm curious about it. Let's see, new episodes this year. Looks like Good Omens 2, they call it, on Prime Video, coming soon to a streaming platform near you.
Yeah, and just to kind of clarify, so the BBC radio drama broadcast was in 2013. That's the one with McAvoy and Dormer and Cumberbatch. And then they were saying that they were going to bring that as a new version of a new TV adaptation, but I can't find anything about the new TV adaptation. So you're right, Scott. Looks like they turned the audio only version with that cast, which explains why you saw a video of them walking around in sets and costumes and stuff like that. But I can't find any other. I wonder if it's still. I mean, that was 1996 or no one was this 2005.
Yeah.
Oh no, 2013 was the radio broadcast, but that was almost 10 years ago, and I haven't found anything about the new TV.
Well, version. I will say this: the way it was filmed, it looked like Baker era Doctor Who.
Oh,
film.
Really?
Yeah, like
because that's what I thought the old '96 version looked like, was that weird soap opera looking.
Where lights smear funny, and it just looks like you're using a video camera from the '80s, sort of thing.
Right.
So that
BBC for you. They spend a lot more on, I think, actors and story, and then they're like, effects, whatever.
yeah, their production,
Right.
their production stuff isn't always. Well, they can't all be that. Who made Two Smoking Barrels and a Monkey?
Guy Ritchie.
Guy Ritchie. Guy Ritchie's pretty good with the visuals. He's all right, but
Yes,
he broke
yeah.
the mold over there, I guess. All right. Well, this is great. As usual, you can find this book just about anywhere. And Amy, you should tell people where they can find you and keep better track of where Amy Robinson is these days.
Yes. So I am Red Fraggle 3 on Twitter, and that's the 3 is spelled out there. I'm also Red Fraggle 3, but with the number on TikTok. And like I said, I'm absolutely still going to do that TikTok series with the puppets, but right now I didn't know my husband was going to give me a whole project to do for Christmas. So that's what's involving my time right now. But that puppet series will be coming.
Yeah.
So.
Looking forward to that very much. Take it easy, and we'll see you next Thursday. Bye now.
Bye.
All right.
Cool.
We did it, Brian. We did it. And now.
We did.
Now this. It's time for the news, and it's brought to you by
13peppersbyralph.com. They're having a sale to move the last of their inventory. They specialize in hot pepper seeds. The hotter the better, and if you use the code TMS at checkout, you'll receive an additional discount of 15% off the sale price just for being a fellow listener. That's all you have to do. So, if you have in your heart to help out a fellow nerd, please visit 13peppersbyralph.com. Also, follow him on Instagram at 13peppersbyralph and at YouTube, where I'm sure you watch him eating them peppers, at 13peppers for all his fun stuff.
Oh, that's perfect. We just got a little visitor while you were talking.
Oh, look at that. You got a van.
Yeah, we got a little
van
van
just
with
drove
us.
up.
Hi, you want to say something? You want to say something? Go ahead. You can say stuff. Did you bring dinos? Let me see your dinos. Do you have a dino? What are you doing, dude? Do you have any dragons? You say hello.
Hi.
Say, hey, hi, Brian. Why are you all nervous? He's never nervous. All right, here, you want to go now? I'll see you soon, okay?
Because there's a weird bald guy staring at him.
Careful, that thing's hot. Okay.
A weird trapeze artist.
Forgot we were getting him today. He just really wanted to hug that mic right up into his face, though. That was
Yes,
cool.
he did.
All right.
Yeah, would you please teach him proper microphone techniques, Scott? Come on. Hall of Fame podcaster. Teach the boys some proper mic techniques.
Yeah, I was inducted into the Hall of Fame, and they're going to take that away from me if I don't get on this. So
That's
hurry
right.
up, Scott.
By the way, that they just announced they're going to be doing the 2022 slate, and it's back to the, hey, we're acknowledging the other people who've gotten inducted into the Podcasting Hall of Fame. We're not trying to start a brand new one. Look, here's everybody else.
So they caved from the pressure.
So they put up that big site that's got everybody on stage except for you and Leo Laporte.
Yeah,
phoning it in.
Phoning it in. Me and Leo. Look at the
You
unit.
and Leo Laporte.
The big unit on us.
That's right. Exactly.
Whatever. Jenny did such a good job. I'll always be grateful for what she did that year. Yeah. All right. Look at this. Snoop Dogg. You know Snoop Dogg, Snoopy Poopy Poop Dog. You know him?
I'm familiar with Snoop Dogg. Yep.
Yeah, he's usually just hanging out with his good pal. What's her name? The cook lady. Can't think of her name.
Martha Stewart.
Martha Stewart. I can't think of names today. He's planning a hot dog brand called Snoop Dogs. Who knew? I just don't understand why it took so long, but here we are. 6 years after saying he ain't never eaten a mother effing hot dog again, famously. Snoop Dogg is apparently planning to launch his own brand of frankfurters called Snoop Dogs, according to the recent legal filing at the Federal Trademark Office. Attorneys for the hip-hop legend, real name Calvin Brodus. It's sometimes difficult to remember. He was known as someone else for a long time. Calvin Brodus applied last month.
Snoop Lion for a little while too.
Oh yeah, how come that switched back? What was the deal there? Was that just
Probably just people got confused and it's like, all right, go back to the name we're all familiar with. Yeah.
I guess people do this like Yee and Yeezus and Kanye.
Right, exactly.
Whatever. Anyway, he applied last month for the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office for a federal trademark registration for the term Snoop Dogs. Saying he plans to use it to sell hot dogs and other types of sausage. Okay? Sauce. I was trying to find it while I was doing it, and I couldn't find it.
Using it as a stall technique to play it.
To play it, yeah. I can't find it, though. Well, I don't know where it went.
Oh, no.
I know. There
sausage.
Yeah.
It's like 8 minutes long now.
It's gonna be a week.
Stretches out like an old TDK tape.
Yeah. Every time. All right, it says here, December filing came. Let's see, they didn't have a lot of detail, just a little bit. They did a so-called intent to use application, meaning Snoop has yet to launch the brand, but he has the intent to use it. A hot dog brand would be the latest consumer venture from Snoop. In 2015, the marijuana aficionado started a cannabis company called Leafs by Snoop. And in 2020, the gin and juice rapper debuted a liquor called Indigo Gin. I'm sorry, Indago Gin. Like indigo, but Indago.
Indago.
Yeah, it's bad.
Jeez.
He also released a cookbook and has repeatedly appeared on cooking television segments with his close friend Martha Stewart. So
yeah, well, that cookbook is going to be called the Dog Cookbook.
Yeah, you can't
cook dog book. Don't worry, I can fit this. I can fit dog in everything. Don't worry, I can fit it in.
You'd think the Snoop would be more the focus, you know? Like, if I'm going to come up with names, I could probably come up with more Snoop names than dog names. But
exactly, yeah.
I don't know. Plus, do you really want to have dog in your cooking book? I don't know. It's weird.
Only if it's hot dogs. I hear there is a spectacular hot dog place in Narlands that 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 people are saying, oh, you got to go to this hot dog place. Like, really? It's a hot dog place. Like, if I go to New Orleans, the last thing I want to do is eat something that I feel like I can get anywhere. I want to get some jambalaya and some gumbo, some etouffee, some beignets, stuff like that. I'm not going there for, tube steak. But people are saying it's pretty good.
I would be very curious. I have not heard of this. What's the name of the place? Do you know the name?
I don't remember. I can look it up. It was Jay Funktastic, I think, was the guy who recommended it to me.
Oh, I'd trust him. He knows stuff.
He does know stuff. Yeah. He's
a Southern as you
New
get.
Orleanian.
Yeah, he's been down there a long time. Knows all the best places. Totally trust him.
Dat Dog, I think. Is it Dat Dog or Lucky Dogs?
Lucky Dogs.
Yeah. Huh.
We got a place here called J Dogs, and it's very good. I wish I could give you a J Dogs because you would change your mind about. But not change your mind, but you would be like, "Whoa, that is a huge step above what I think of a hot dog as."
Yeah, we've got a place here called Biker Gyms that makes some incredible hot dogs.
I kind of want one now.
This is why streaming is so much better for you, because you would see a commercial, it feels like, and you'd be like, I want that immediately. Kim, let's go get that.
Yeah, no, you're right. But now I want to just wait till the show's over and then drive to J Dogs and get one of those because it's so freaking good. Oh my gosh. All right.
I can't find the looks like Dat Dog, DATDOG is the
like that dog, but Dat Dog, yo.
Dat, yeah.
Okay.
Dat Dog, yeah.
I don't think I like that name.
All right.
That name annoys me.
No.
Here's a story about some customers that are furious. That's a thing you hear a lot about these days. Furious customers. They want to talk to the manager.
Everybody's furious.
Customers are furious after energy supplier tells customers to cuddle pets to keep warm.
Aw.
Oh, man.
Should do that anyway, but you shouldn't have to do it to keep warm.
No, and it shouldn't be. The freaking power company, if they're having problems, or the heating, whoever, their answer shouldn't be. It's like those rocks they gave nurses at that hospital. Did you see that thing floating around?
Oh, I did, yeah.
I would have been so annoyed. It's like, here's your wish rock or whatever. Think of all the positive thoughts while you hold your wish rock.
Oh, and take it home and paint it. Basically, we've done all the hard work. We went out to the front of the hospital and picked up a rock and brought it inside.
I hate it. Hate it.
Yeah.
I'd be so annoyed.
It is worthy of ire.
Yeah, it's ire worthy. Here's the deal. British supplier, energy supplier, Zoe, we're looking at you in there. Bring your bacon. Has apologized for the poorly judged and unhelpful advice sent to customers, which suggested they could snuggle up to their pets and exercise to cut back on heating bills. SSE, which is owned by OVO Energy or OVO Energy, I'm not sure how they say it, suggested 10, quote, simple and cost-effective ways to keep warm this winter, according to the Financial Times. Eating bowls of oatmeal, doing star jumps. Don't we just call those jumping jacks here?
Jumping jacks here, yeah.
Okay.
We call them jumping jacks. Star jumps.
All right.
Yes, would you please do some star jumps? Give me 10.
10 star jumps, ready, set, go.
Yes, what's the exchange rate on jumping jacks? Is it just give me 8.5 star
8.5.
jumps
Yeah,
for your
8.5.
10 jumping jacks?
For your 10. Or maybe it's like Miles, where we all stuck to the same dumb measurement.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe that's it.
I don't know. Maybe they're directly cut across. Anyway, they said, what else did they add? They put in, let's see, doing star jumps, cuddling pets. These were all among the recommendations of the now deleted webpage. So they learned their lesson.
Oops.
In a statement sent to CNN Tuesday, a spokesman for OVO Energy said, or OVO, recently a link to a blog containing energy-saving tips was sent to customers. We understand how difficult the situation will be for many of our customers this year. We are working hard to find meaningful solutions as we approach this energy crisis, so we recognize the content of this blog was poorly judged and unhelpful. We are embarrassed and sincerely apologize, says the spokesperson. I guess that's good. They're owning it. Hey, so is there I didn't know there's an energy crisis in the UK. Is that a thing?
I didn't either. Yeah.
I hope you guys are.
Because they're all staying home too.
I guess so.
They're all working. Everybody's working from home, using up all that energy.
That's true. It's a big shift in the grids and everything. They gotta adjust for it. But hopefully you're all okay and not freezing or whatever. And if you do have pets, do hug them. You know, snuggle with your pets. It's fine.
Yeah. And if you don't have pets, then heat up some rocks on the stove and cuddle with those. And I know where you could probably get a bunch of those. Those encouragement stones.
We got some numbers here. British consumers will pay roughly £790. That's pound sterling, which is $1,075 here. More in heat and light this year in their house. So they're going to pay that much on top of their normal bills. That's a lot.
Mackerel. That is a lot.
That is a lot. That's according to Bank of America. Wholesale European gas prices have jumped 400% in the previous year. Electricity prices increased 300%. The increases have been driven by cold weather, nuclear plant outages in France. Freaking French.
Jeez.
It all comes back to the damned French every time.
Always the French. The French and Boris Johnson.
Those bastards.
Combination of UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson and his hair and those damn French people.
They also had reduced flow of gas out of Russia, which I guess contributed to it. According to the National Energy Action, more than 4 million UK households are in the grip of a fuel poverty, a figure which the charity believes could rise by 2 million in April, when a cap on energy prices is expected to increase again. So, careful.
Zoe's in the chat room. I gotta ask. So with Brexit, obviously you guys went back to using the pound. Is the euro? Can people still spend euros places, or are they phasing out any use of the euro in?
I thought one of their things when they were part of the European Union is that they wouldn't change their currency. I think they kept the pound, didn't they?
Did they keep the pound? Okay, they might have. Yeah, because we used pound sterling when we were in Northern Ireland. So yeah, so they stuck to the pound the whole time. Okay.
Yeah, I think they did. But I think they had to accept something, or maybe it was always
probably
everywhere was a exchange place, kind of, or something.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Okay, I don't know how that works. You just use credit cards, everything works.
Yeah, everything exactly. Cashless society, please come on.
Yeah, let's get in. Let's put a chip in my head. I'm ready. All right, so there's that story. That's a fun one for you to chew on there, European folks. Can they get back in? Like, can they just at the end of the Brexit go? Can they go? This wasn't great. This is a bad idea.
What's the portmanteau then for the equivalent of Brexit? Bruntrance?
Yeah, Bruntrance. We've made a fantastic Bruntrance back into the good graces of the European community.
Brienter.
Brienter. Brexit through the gift shop, or I don't know how you do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, like Brentry. I want to know what brunch. There you go, brunch. Nailed it. I want to know if that's even on the table. I mean, obviously, in a possibility sense, it is, but not a probability. You know.
Jiggins, I think, has the best one. Regrexit.
That's pretty good. That should be a title.
I think that'd make a title. Exactly. I think that might be our title today if somebody puts that in. Regrexit.
Get that in there. J. Jiggins. J.R. Riggins. Whatever it is. Oh, now he's laughing his head off in the other room. He's just as loud as he wants to be.
Oh, see, yeah.
What the frick?
Well, actually, Van really liked the Regrexit, actually.
Yeah, he's just losing it in there. He's watching the show live. That's hilarious, even to my 3-year-old mind. All right. Here's a possibly final story, depending on how long this one goes. This is interesting. LAPD, that's the Los Angeles Police Department, officers ignore a robbery in progress because they were trying to catch a Snorlax in Pokemon Go.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, the LAPD, always in trouble, starting riots, shooting people where they shouldn't, and now catching a Snorlax.
Sorry, can't we all just get a Snorlax?
The frick. LA police officer fired for ignoring robbery in progress and instead stuck around to try to get the Snorlax in Pokemon Go. This is all according to court documents that were published on Friday. According to the officer's appeal, former LAPD officers Louis Lozano and Eric Mitchell were fired for, quote, willfully abdicating their duty to assist a commanding officer's response to a robbery in progress and playing a Pokemon Go, or as they put it, playing a Pokemon mobile game while on duty.
Well, now there's multiple. You know, there's Pokemon Unite, and there's
sure
Pokemon Match 'em in a coffee shop. I can't remember what the heck that thing was called. Pokemon Cafe or something? I can't remember,
there's another one where you run around with 3 other Pokemon and fight stuff, joystick style. It's kind of like a MOBA.
Isn't that Unite or no?
No, it's something.
It's not the
It's not the MOBA. It's something else.
Not the MOBA. Okay.
They're little square-looking versions of themselves, and.
Oh.
It's older. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun.
Yeah, it was like a balloon or something. Like you also rode in a balloon, or maybe the opening screen had you riding in a balloon or something.
Yeah,
I can't remember.
something like that.
Back to Pokemon Go.
Back to Pokemon. It's one of my favorite clips.
Back to Pokemon Go.
Pokemon Go.
Pokemon Go.
So they, they're in trouble.
They first initially these guys, you know, they said, "Oh no, we didn't do that. We totally didn't do that." And then they found audio of them in the car. Dash cam audio or chest camera audio or whatever, saying, "Oh, let's go. Look, there's a Snorlax at this address. Let's go." Like they know the address. You know, it's like they must have been using one of those websites that said, "Hey, there's a Snorlax at this address."
Yeah, they get a little
a different dispatch. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Maybe they should have just gone and done the thing and then gone back to try. Well, I guess you're gonna give up the rest of your next couple of hours if you're gonna go help, right?
Yeah.
I'm not trying to justify what they did. I'm just saying.
Definitely not. Exactly. And apparently this happened back in April 2017, back when, you know, when it was harder to get a Snorlax. These days, kind of easy to get a Snorlax.
Well, so this happened in 2017, and I cannot, for the life of me, like you just mentioned, I cannot figure out why.
They just, I think they just finally charged these guys, or the audio or something.
Or they just fired them finally
or
something? Okay.
Maybe, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, because it was all the news. It's been all in the news this last week, even though this happened back in 2017.
Oh, interesting. It says it happened at the Lacey's Los Angeles Crenshaw Mall. Patrol supervisor called Metro and Lozano. Oh, yeah. It says to respond to an apparent robbery in process at Macy's, several police officers left the scene of a homicide to respond to it. These 2 chuckleheads stayed for Pokemon.
Yeah.
All right. So they tried to appeal it, and they lost the appeal, I guess.
Apparently so. Yeah. Good.
All right. Good on them. Good on them for losing their dumb appeal. You guys are dumb. That's a dumb thing to do. Pokemon's cool and everything, but it's not meant to stop you from doing your really important policing jobs.
I am barely still playing Pokemon Go. Like I'll if I'm sitting around not doing anything or have something on TV, I might open it up and just see if there's anything to catch. But they haven't added anything new to the game in feels like a year. And so what's the, you know,
I was going to ask
content. Give me content.
I was actually going to ask you what your involvement is in the game these days, and it sounds like it's less than you'd planned.
I'm still sitting on level 44. I've not progressed in the last I don't know, 18 months past level 44.
That's 42 levels. That's level 42. There's something about you, baby. Anyway, you're a lot higher than me is what I'm saying. A lot higher than most people I know. I'll bet on average, you're in the higher bracket. I'll bet.
Probably. I mean, there's still some holdouts playing that thing. Claire says I should go back to Animal Crossing. Are you still?
Yeah, I get in, do a couple chores and stuff. I'm not like when that expansion came out, I was kind of every day for about a month there.
Yeah.
And kind of hardcore, and I've kind of slacked back on it a bit.
You know what? the Temple Run game.
Oh yeah,
that
the puzzle game.
The Temple Run puzzler.
Yeah.
Curse you, because that's probably what's taken over for me from Pokemon Go. I'm on puzzle 814.
Oh my lord! Whoa, really?
Yeah. I'm still playing it. She has stopped running through the temple. She's basically sitting in a door, and they just give me new challenges.
Yeah, at the end of the game, they just call it temple sit, I think, and you just
temple stand in one place.
Yeah.
But today during Coverville, and we'll talk about what's on Coverville later, I've been playing Hitman 3, which is great.
No, Hitman 3 is an awesome game.
Today I'm trying out Astroneer, which just launched on the Switch today. I know it's been on Steam for 6 months or a year or something, but it looks like Animal Crossing No Man's Sky kind of thing.
It's very cool. I played it back when it was just in early access in like 2016, I think.
Really early?
Yeah.
Wow, okay, so I thought this was even newer than that.
Well, it hit 1.0. It's maybe 2 years now since it went out of early access, but since then it's on PlayStation, it's on Xbox, it's on Game Pass right now, I believe.
Yeah.
And is like you said, just launched on Switch.
Just launched on Switch today.
It's very cool. My daughter Taylor got completely like under the water hooked on that thing.
Oh, really? And it looks like Carter's even she's like, "Oh, Astroneer's on Switch?"
Yeah, ooh, that'll be like she's got all the time in the world right now. She's trying to she's been working on her portfolio and she's doing some killer stuff. I wish I could show people some of this stuff. It's so good. But she's been so busy with that, I didn't think she'd have time for games. But I guess she still does. I guess she's still a gamer at heart, Carter.
Oh, good. As she should be.
Gamer at heart, Carter. Okay, let's see. Oh, Heaven's Daddy's makes a good point. Re-download that Lara Croft Go game. That game is great.
It is great. Yeah.
It's old now.
Too short.
Yeah, too short, but great. The other one based on Hitman Go, also very good. Those Go series were cool. They did a Deus Ex one as well, and then they stopped making them, and I hate them for it. So.
The Geostorm game was kind of based on that too. Like it's basically a Geostorm Go thing, even though it's not called that, because you do have like multiple turns to get through a thing, and
and it's similar art style, I would say.
Similar art style,
chunky, chunky low poly style, whatever.
That 3/4 view down, whatever I can't remember what that's called. Isometric.
That game did not benefit from the name getting slapped on it.
No, it really didn't. It's like they probably had the game built, and then they said, "Oh, there's this movie. Can we tie it to that?" Like, oh, sure, yeah, okay. And then the movie sunk like an anchor.
Yeah.
And then took that game down with it, sadly.
And now we've seen it, and we know it's poo. It's poo. That movie's poo. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, my sister Wendi will be here. We'll have a little Therapy Thursday today. Any of you guys out there suffer from even a little ADHD? Well, good, because we got a thing about attention deficit disorder, and I think that I probably have some form of it. We'll talk. Yeah, I think I do. We're going to find out soon from my professional therapist sister what that means and more after this song that Brian brought. What do you got?
Yeah, so friend of the show, frequent collaborator, and even a contestant on the most recent season of ANTP, or no, last season. Oh, it's been such a long time. But he is one of America's Next Top Podcasters. His name is Shane Maddox, and aside from picking a new goofy name every time that we play Among Us or any sort of Jackbox game, he also had time to write in. He says, "Hello, Sound and Booth. It's hard to believe that it's been 2 years since we released our second album, Through What We Know, but our experimental acoustic album has also now arrived. It's called Here Waiting, and we're super excited to share it. Wisconsin-based hard rock group Else, in brackets, is proud to announce their latest effort, an experimental acoustic album titled Here Waiting. The album explores the highs and lows of our world, from despair and resentment to adoration and hope, with creative percussion arrangements, guest artists, and an intriguing balance of acoustic and electronic elements throughout." Shane, we love when he sends in music, and his band Else is one of those to keep an eye on, to listen to, and to check out. From their brand new, at the end of 2021, album entitled Here Waiting, here is the song Sparrow.
Ooh, very nice. It's like a bird. Okay, here we go. Sparrow coming at you. We'll be back in a second. Scott's delaying because he doesn't have the right thing up. Okay, hold on 1 second.
Oh, did I not put that in the...
No, you're fine. I screwed up. It's me. Okay, here we go. And now the break. Oh, shit. I'm in the wrong tab. Hold on. Okay, and now the break.
People are switching to Band Basic because it looks and feels like an aerosol spray, but has no aerosol propellants. And its effective anti-wetness protection really helps keep you dry.
Yucky secrets.
Oh. Wait a minute. That didn't go right.
This is the morning stream. The hell you say?
Oh, man. I can't get anything to work right today. Hey, Brian, remind me that song again?
Sure. That song again is Sparrow by the band Else from their brand new album, Here Waiting. It's a new acoustic take, and it is really, really good.
All right. There it is. Well done. We have some talented listeners, and I love when we can showcase their stuff. Nothing wrong with that. Get ready, everybody, because it's time for this.
Everyone knows it's Wendi.
My sister, Wendi, my junior sister. She's younger than me. All my sisters are, but she's like 6 years younger than me.
What would it be like if I was older than you?
I don't know what I would do. That would be weird. Let me think for a minute. Would you be a crazy conspiracy lady at that age, do you think? No?
Wow, so just age defines conspiracy theory?
Well, you know,
adhesion?
Birth order.
Some of it's, you know, I don't know what it is. I don't know what causes people to go down those roads, but
I don't know either.
But probably not Wendi. You're right. She's
but I would boss you around more, I think.
I just don't want to offend people.
That's probably it.
I never want to offend people by saying, "Hey, it's my white sister," because I have 3 sisters, but the other 2 are Korean, and it's just weird to refer to her as my white sister. So I don't do that. I just call her my sister. Yeah, that's probably all I need to do. Hey, Wendi, it's good to have you back.
About race so much, Scott. You're always talking about race.
I know, always talking about race. Maybe there's something wrong. I don't know.
You're making us racist.
I think it's our pearly white skin that makes me racist. All right, hey, we're good to have you back. We're gonna talk about some stuff, and also before we're done today, you have a Real Steps thing we want to talk about as well. So excited about that. So we'll get to all that, but first, an email. And I said something before I read this. I said something before that I actually don't know if I even mean, but I think I have some ADD or ADHD tendencies. I've never been what's the word, diagnosed as such. Yeah. And I've had evaluations like that, like everyone probably should at some time or another, just to kind of see where your head's at or whatever. And they never said, "Oh yeah, you've got this or you do this or any of that." So it's completely in my head that I do, but I know that I know that I struggle with attention sometimes in ways that I didn't when I was younger. So like growing up, I could be very attentive. In fact, maybe too much. I would focus on something I was drawing instead of my homework or whatever. And maybe that's all this is, just an adult version of this where I focus on what I want to focus on, if that makes sense. Anyway, so we'll keep that in mind as I read this email that goes like this. This is a little bit older email, but we wanted to finally get around to it. And I think they're okay with us saying their name because it's in this. I don't know. What do you think, Brian? Do I do it or not?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
I think, yeah.
All right, we'll be all right. Hello, Wendi and the boys. It's your favorite taffy dealer's wife, Lois. Brian, do the Peter voice. Lois.
Hello, Lois.
There you go. Very, very well done. Wow. I was recently given the diagnosis of ADHD. Some of my friends around me weren't surprised. They thought I would. They thought I knew. Obviously, I didn't. Having a diagnosis and learning more about how my brain works is helpful, but how did I go from 35 years without many therapists or medical professions noticing or testing me for ADHD? Thanks, Lois. This goes right along with what I was saying about me. No one ever said so, but maybe if I worry that it's the power of suggestion. I go into somebody and go, I think I might have ADHD. Can you test me for that? And they're like, oh, sure enough, you do. Like it would be, they would just find it or something. And so I kind of don't want to. But anyway, Wendi, this is probably one of those things that goes undiagnosed for a lot of people, I would have to think. But there's also a feeling out there that it gets overdiagnosed. So I would like to know which we're supposed to believe, and you're going to help us do that.
Yeah, okay. Well, let's start with this. Seeing many therapists and medical professionals for many years and not being diagnosed is really easy to do because, first of all, symptoms present slightly differently. Especially, it's the most obvious in younger children how it presents in girls versus boys. It's not 100%. I've seen, a kid who you're like, that is ADHD the second you see them, it's so obvious, right? Because of the H part, the hyperactivity part, right? They are ping-ponging around. That's a word, ping-ponging.
Bing-ponging, sure. Uh-huh.
Yeah,
All
bing
around
pong.
the world. And they're all around the room, and they're just, it's so clear, right?
Yeah.
And so that kid is not going to get missed necessarily, right? But very often young girls present differently. And then as they get into teenage land, it also presents a little bit differently. It is kind of tricky to catch, actually, if it is not in a traditional presentation, right? So there's the inattentive type. What's interesting is I have a couple clients struggling with ADHD as adults, never were diagnosed. And one thing we've done to kind of do some digging and like helping them recognize some of these symptoms in their childhood, because often what happens is they just feel like, well, I was dumb, or like I sucked at school, or kids didn't want to play with me sometimes. And they don't have context for what was going on because they were a kid. Maybe some remember mom saying, gosh, it's like you're driven by your motor, or just sit down, or, being, their hand smacked a lot or something. They have kind of these sort of memories of being, having some sort of bad mojo going on, but they can't piece it together. So one thing you do is you go through your childhood, if somebody kept them for you, your childhood, like teacher evaluations at the end of the year or whatever, commentary, others, not only your mom's memory or your dad's memory or something, but other people in positions of working with you would have said. And so what you often find in those records is always moving around, or always daydreaming out the window, or, you can kind of spot some of it looking backwards.
Mm-hmm.
And how old did she say she was?
She said 35.
35.
I assume that means 35 years of, because she just says 35 years without, therapists or professionals noticing. But I don't know if that means that maybe she's been seeing them for 35 years, but she's actually 45, and for 10 years she saw no one. I don't know.
Because it matters in time of sort of the different place in history, right? If she was an adult for 35 years, so we're looking at somebody who's 55, then I would not be one bit surprised no one diagnosed her. Right. Because the category, sort of 40s up and up, you maybe a little older than that. It wasn't really till the 80s that it was being recognized more by pediatricians and seen as a thing, and then being treated. It's been around forever, but it is not sort of, that became part of the zeitgeist moment around then. So then you've got kids at that time who were not falling through the cracks, etc. But anyone older tends to have fallen through the cracks. And so what happens, I'll give you an example of a client I saw years and years and years ago. He was about 50 at the time. He was an architect. He just was so much chaos in his life. He couldn't get anything organized, and felt like he was going to lose his job any minute. And as we're talking and we're going through, his marriage was rocky. Stuff was just kind of falling apart. And I said, so tell me when you feel the best. And what he described was my clue to, oh, this is ADHD that's never been treated. And what he said was, he grew up around Snowbird and Solitude. I think his dad worked there or something, so he could ski all the time. And he said the only time he felt good, felt normal, felt like his thoughts or his head was clear, was when he was ripping down a mountain.
Oh, interesting.
At speed that would kill most people.
Is that
right?
is that because you have to focus on that stuff? Like there's no. Oh, all right. Interesting.
No, not at all. Let me explain.
Oh.
Yes, sure. You have to you die if you don't, I guess. It focuses you for sure.
I mean, yeah, they have to concentrate a little bit, I guess.
We're not a Lindsey Vaughn, and we don't, whatever. But you have to focus short, so it puts your attention into one place. However, what it really does, and this is why I suspected ADHD, was that the time his brain was clearest is when he was physically moving quickly. So if you think of a young child with ADHD, hyperactive type, subtype, where they are bouncing around the walls, you're just thinking, what are you doing? Just sit down. Well, what happens is is there's a part of the brain in the frontal lobe area, which is where our executive functioning is, right? That's the thing that does things in order, is logical, makes, a little more organized. Like that's just our thinking center, right? And there's a part that's underperforming in there when a kid has ADHD. And so the body will compensate by moving. So that's why fidget spinners and all those kinds of things that became sort of more mainstream, those have always been in the hands, hopefully, at least a while now, in the hands of kids that struggle with focusing or concentration or other things, because it occupies that part of the brain. We all have a version of this, maybe like you need background music to study or something. So it's like it takes a part of the brain that needs something and keeps it occupied while you do this other task that requires focus and concentration. So that movement that kid is showing is really trying to compensate for that part of its brain that's under stimulated. That is why then the prescriptions are stimulants, right? So you give a kid Ritalin or Adderall. Those are stimulants. Anyone else taking a stimulant is going to get the buzz of a stimulant. But if you have ADHD, what it does is it speeds up that part of the brain, so it catches up, and your brain, people will describe it as like lifting your head out of fog, or just suddenly your thoughts are clear. And also, so that's what happened with this guy. So he's ripping down the hill, skiing all the time. I said, I think you probably have ADHD that's never been diagnosed. He'd never heard that ever. No one had ever suspected that. This is also a person who'd seen doctors his whole life. And what it was is he's just compensating so hard for it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, architecture school's hard. It is the death of people. It is not an easy thing to do. And how did he do it? Well, he's compensating like crazy, and he marries someone who takes care of all the messes and kind of handles all the stuff. And so you can see that, through his life, he kind of figured this out. He was very bright. A lot of folks with ADHD are really bright, but don't think they are because they have to work so hard or concentrate so hard or compensate so hard. Or just traditional school is just so difficult because it's for sitting down and listening to one person ramble on in front of you, right? While there's distractions everywhere. So it's a really tough situation. Anyway, so I said, hey, go talk to your doctor. I'm not going to tell him what to do, but how about 5 milligrams of Ritalin, maybe 10. And he went and suggested, and the guy got tested, and he clearly has ADHD. And then this tiny little pill every morning has altered his life because it treats that part of his brain that needs stimulation, that hasn't had it, and he could focus and he could do the work.
Would he have a problem if you gave him a depressant of some sort? Like, in other words, if this dude got,
like alcohol?
I don't know. Well, yeah, alcohol or THC, but maybe even something more over the counter, like, I don't know what would be. I can't think of a good one. But let's say something akin to, the heroin side, which is the depressant side. Would that be does that react the opposite with people who are ADHD?
No, it doesn't. And I mean, that's what, so Ritalin, this is why you get focused. So you're just like a college student and you're like, I want an edge. So you take some Ritalin that you found in the street. I don't know. I'm making up a dumb story here.
Some street red. Yeah.
Street red. And you are now able to knock out your whole paper, right? Like you can focus, it heightens your attention. It does make you a little bit buzzed, right? Like you are, and you can get a lot of crap done, which is why it's abused, right?
Yeah.
It's also abused because, according to a friend of mine once, he sniffed some and he said he felt like God. So clearly it's got some good stuff in it, right? And that's,
yeah. Listen,
and this is,
I'm already sold. You don't need to try and sell me on it.
okay. Now what else you can do with this? You get it out of the street. Okay. Clearly I'm very good at drug talk. But anyway, so this is the idea though, is that it does this particular thing and just makes them feel normal.
Yeah.
Whereas that drug does not do that to other people. That is, to me, always the telltale sign they have ADHD. Like if they take 5 milligrams and they're like, oh, you're like, okay, well, I think we got the right diagnosis. And unlike other medications like antidepressants or whatnot, you have to build that up in the system for them to be effective and to be at a therapeutic dose. Whereas Ritalin is every single day is a new day. Yeah. It processes it out. They have developed, sort of the extended release so kids can make it through the afternoon. And it is a game changer for so many. So I wanted to start this conversation with how pro diagnosis I am about ADHD and medication. And I will tell you why. I'm not that way about literally anything else.
I know. I was just going to say, for those wondering, like, is Wendi suddenly, biotech, whatever? No, she's not normally at all. Like, so this is interesting. So continue.
No, and it's mainly because I've never seen anything work as effectively as medication does. And I've gone to trainings, I know how to help people. There are specialists that do this all the time, behavioral, and there are definitely things you can do behaviorally to improve. All of us can, right? Like everyone could benefit from some ADHD, like rejiggering your life, because we have filled our lives we've created our own version, which we'll get to in a second. But, and I've seen a lot of stuff there, but I've never seen anything like what that little pill can do to a brain that just needs to have a break, and it just allows them to focus and get something done. And here's why I care mostly about this. It's definitely not, I'm not a fan of, I don't think diagnoses are all that helpful. They're instructive if they tell us how to help you, but they're not, and I hate insurance. Can you tell all my issues are showing up here? But anyway, so it's this idea though, that it's a way to understand yourself in the world and work with it. And the younger you can do that, the more heartache you can avoid. Because what I have had a lot of experiences with is meeting these people later in life. They were never diagnosed. They never got help. They are absolutely convinced they're dumb. They're absolutely convinced that they are not good in relationships. They're absolutely convinced all these different things. And if you take attention and focus and I should really clarify, hyper focus, where you can play a video game or paint one of your miniatures for 17 hours straight. That does not mean you have good focus. That means you have hyper focus.
That means I'm avoiding something else.
Ruins. Yeah, that
You're
ruins
avoiding other things. I mean, that's true, more true than either of us would like to admit, but yes.
I know. And part of that, though, if you think about what hyper focus ultimately is the industries that want our focus have specialized in figuring out how to keep it and sustain it and have created hyperfocus, right? So go pre-TV era, or back when your TV show was on only at 7 p.m. on a Tuesday. And what was hyperfocusing then? Well, maybe it was building some project in the whatever. Like there were definitely ways you could see people hyperfocusing. Yeah. Now there are people who don't have ADHD who hyperfocus all the time, partly because things have been training their brain to do so. So that leads to this idea. Okay, so I am pro, get yourself diagnosed. You can't, I get the overdiagnosis thing, like that kid sucks, so let's slap this label on him and give him a pill. And I get that if that has been your experience, I don't want to discount that. But I also think we're pretty quick to think a bunch of professionals out there are just like getting their jollies off of doing bad work. They are not. Yeah. They are not like, you know what, that kid's annoying. Let's give him a diagnosis and a pill. And now, has that happened once or twice? I'm sure it has. Just like anything has happened. But for the most part, there's some testing. You got to figure it out. There are now brain scans that are incredible. I've had a few clients go to, I think I mentioned this on the show before, but if you live in Salt Lake and you wonder if you have attention deficit issues, then go to the Attention Clinic. It's in, where is that area? Like 30th South and anyway.
Is it down?
I always get distracted when I try and find that place.
I get it.
Don't even know where it is. Yeah. Anyway, so that place they will scan your brain and help you out. But this brain scans, I've seen a few of them, are pretty cool because it's showing you doing different tasks, how your brain lights up and what it does.
It's in Murray, by the way, at Fashion Boulevard in Murray, so out by Fashion Place Mall.
That's where it is. Yeah. So, and it is like you can see what the brain is doing. So you can see a brain that does not have ADHD during a task where you're supposed to focus on something you don't really want to or whatever, versus ADHD brain. It is like someone spilled paint all over the paper. Like every single thing is lighting up. Like, get me out of here. Wow. Right? And so when you feel like, wow, I am not like that kid sitting next to me, or this person just seems so organized. Yes, there's a variety of people's level of organizations, and you can always find that, right? But then there is something else, and this usually has some indication of, kind of a lifelong struggle. And there's usually, looking in your past, you can kind of see hints to this. And often there's sort of can be trails of relationships that haven't worked out awesomely. One time I sent a couple to an ADHD marriage support group.
Oh, ooh.
And because it's not always easy to be married to someone with ADHD.
Yeah.
Because they may just seem like a jerk sometimes, but really they just forgot, or they didn't hear you when you were talking. I mean, you think of how that impacts a relationship, right? Mm-hmm. And so they show up to this support group, and every single person there had already been divorced and was still meeting. So it was no longer a marriage support group. It was it didn't work out problem. Anyway, but just because it's really tough. There's some good books on that. I think one is called, is it ADHD or is he a jerk? Something like that, where you can kind of start to see, whoa, there are patterns here. And here's the power to this. The power is not, okay, now you have a label. Great. Now use that as your excuse for everything. It's not. It's about, all right, what do I have to do to compensate in ways that don't exhaust you and ruin your life, right? How can I, put things in place to make my life run smoother? Do I try medication or not? You can just have some better, more open conversations and then follow where the treatment can take you, as opposed to not knowing, which leads to everyone else, right? Because at this point, I bet both of you can describe ADHD symptoms that you both have, right?
Oh yeah, I totally could.
Okay, so let me turn my computer back on. Okay, I'm gonna read a couple.
Yeah.
So right now we're talking about adults. Okay, so if you're listening to this and you think, oh, my kid has it, you need a child psychologist to evaluate your child. The pediatrician can do that, but like all doctors who are not specialized, either they should be subspecialized in ADHD or get a referral to a clinic or a place that does. You're going to just save yourself so much time. Okay. So we're going to talk about adults though for a second here. Mm-hmm. All right. Do you guys have...
Yes.
Yes. Do you make careless mistakes and lack attention to detail?
I have. Yes.
Yeah, I wouldn't. If this was a scale, like if you said it from 1 to 5, I'd say 3, 2, 3. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Difficulty sustaining attention.
That I'd put it like a 4 out of 5. Pretty high for me.
Okay. Does not seem to listen when spoken to directly.
What?
That's a 5.
Brian's workshopping his next stand-up. I can't wait. It's coming.
It's really good. It's a whole ADHD special.
Give me that last one again. What was it again?
Yeah, fails to does not seem to listen when spoken to directly.
Okay, so Kim accuses me of this constantly.
Yeah.
Okay, so the answer is yes.
The answer is yes.
If the answer is, what was that one again? I think the answer is automatically
well, no,
yes.
I forgot it because I was thinking of your joke and it was funny. That's different.
Exactly. It doesn't mean there's not a reason you're distracted. You just are
distracted. Okay.
And also you brought up something important. Like, what do the people around you say? Is you may
I
not
just told
think
you
you're doing
that.
that.
Or, yeah.
Right.
They think my hearing's going. They're like, do you need a hearing? Like, they'll hearing aid me. Because the other thing I do is, like, it's not so much that I won't hear what they say, even though it appears I'm paying attention, but it's like going through me. Sometimes I hear what they say, but my brain makes it weird. Like, they'll say, will someone get the door? They'll say,
you hear a weird combination of the words they were saying, but in a different order or mushed together.
or I'll make up my own meaning or my own version of the word. If they say someone's at the door, I'll say there's a car on the floor. I'll come up with an alternate rhyming version of it or something. And Kim will look at me and go, yeah, I said a car on the floor. Like, she's just really annoying.
That's the Cockney version of ADHD, by the way.
It is what Cockney is, by the way. Just nothing but that.
It really is, yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay,
so
that is very funny.
Yeah.
So Scott, if she were less patient and actually needed you to follow through on answering the door, like, you can imagine that being problematic, right?
Yeah, but I can do this where, well, I notice I do it and I'll go, okay, hold on, and I'll square up my eyes, look at her in the face, and say, sorry, go ahead, tell me again, and I'll take care of whatever, and then it works out fine. Like I can make it. It's not like I can't do it. It's like there's just a part of me that, in a casual way, doesn't do it, and then I'd say something dumb or weird, and I admit sometimes I do it just because I'm like, pandemic, this, that, and the other. Oh, there's a car on the floor. Like I'm just kind of like blowing everything off, and I don't know what to call that. Yeah, I don't know what to call that. So
okay, all right, we're gonna keep going here. Fails to follow through on tasks and instructions.
That depends. I don't know. That I think I actually do that okay. I'm pretty good at tasks, and
I'm probably pretty bad at that. I'll sit down, be like, oh, I need to email so and so, and I'll start drafting an email, and then I'll hear a computer that I'm working on for one of my other freelance things will chime in the other room. I'll go over there to reset it to start its next task, and then to come back to do the email. No, I see that the table has a package that needs to go out. So I'll start putting a package together, and then I finally come back to the email. I'm like, oh yeah, this is what I was doing initially. Like I have like a to-do list, and I kind of attack the to-do list all simultaneously instead of one right after another.
Yeah, I can relate to that. I think I do that as well. And there's also just this, it depends on the importance of it. Like I get really hyper-focused if it's like, this client needs this and I need it right now, and here's what they need, and you get it done. There's other external motivations on that to make sure that stuff gets done. But if it's for stuff for myself, like I was saying to somebody the other day, the reason I can't do audiobooks anymore, I can read, no problem. Give me a book, open it, read it, focused, getting it all, loving it, don't miss a beat. But do an audiobook version of that, even if it's read by the greatest readers of audiobooks in the history of the world, I immediately lose focus every
and
time.
Then it's like 10 minutes later and you can't remember all the things you just heard.
Yeah, and I don't know why. And then I got to rewind sometimes. I freaking hate that.
Are you sitting still and listening?
Sometimes I'm walking. It doesn't matter. It's all whenever I've tried.
I need to do audiobooks in the VR headset because then it can be like completely black or
yeah, or at least
like
roaring fire.
Yeah,
right.
Or the story.
That would just be a TV show, Wendi.
Yeah, that's true. But I don't have this problem, by the way, with like podcasts or some NPR show or something where they're telling a thing or documentary style stuff. No problem. Yeah. It's just books. It's like narrative books.
Interesting.
And I don't know why. I hate it. It drives me freaking nuts.
It's like conversations you hardly listen to.
Yeah, it is like that.
The same pace.
And so when people are like, "Oh, you remember that one part?" And I'm like, "No, I don't." I don't remember that at all.
The whole point.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna let me fly through these. I'm not gonna ask you anymore, so everyone stop talking. Okay.
We get too distracted.
Yeah.
Exhibits poor organization.
Yeah.
Avoids dislike tasks requiring sustained mental effort.
Oh boy.
Loses things necessary for tasks or activities.
Oh boy.
Easily distracted, including unrelated thoughts.
Yeah.
So glad you're not asking us if we have these, by the way.
I'm really glad you're skimming now.
In daily activities.
No, this is good. Keep skimming.
Okay, so that's inattention. That's the inattention subtype. Then there's the hyperactivity impulsivity subtype. So the hyperactivity often, that's kind of what we think of as the typical presentation, especially in kids, right? But impulsivity, how this lasts into adulthood is kind of interesting. So here's the adult version of hyperactive impulsivity. Fidgets with or taps hands or feet, squirms in seat.
I do that.
Leaves seat in situations when remaining seated is expected.
No, I never do that.
No.
Experiences feelings of restlessness.
Always.
Has difficulty engaging in quiet, leisurely activities.
Difficulty?
No, I kind of look forward to those.
Yeah.
Like you brought up the painting miniatures. That is my zen lately, and I'll have a song playing and the song will end and I'll be so focused on what I'm doing that half an hour will go by and I'll realize I don't have any music or any other sounds going on. It's like I kind of live for that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I think you're both old. Okay. Is on the go or acts if driven by a motor. So that can be adults. You've seen adults who seem like they're driven by a motor. Talks excessively, blurts out answers, has difficulty waiting their turn.
Yes.
Oh, that's 100% me. That's you,
interrupts or
Wendi. That's
intrudes
you
on
too,
others.
by the way. That's kind of you and me both at least in our family upbringing. We always talk about how if there's any quiet moment or someone doesn't know what to say or there's an awkward pause, it's impossible for Wendi and I not to start talking. We just have to. Oh yeah, we just have to.
And my mom has that, and it's like we'll take these long hour-and-a-half drives to brush, and Tina and I'll just be like kind of quietly enjoying the weather, and my mom's like, "So, I knitted something the other day," or "Oh, have you watched that Netflix thing? It's like a squid hunger game thing." And, she'll just talk, automatically. Like
the only person I'm comfortable being really quiet with for extended periods of time in a car or whatever is Kim, because for whatever reason, she just is the only person I can do that with. And we can talk just as easily too, but there's never that weird pressure I feel when there's silence somewhere else. Now, Brian may not remember this, and I've told the story before, but you were there. You and a bunch of other Nerdtacular people came over to our house the night before the event. I think it was 2011's. So you were at the house, and we made food, and Kim was there making food and stuff, and we all hung out, and it was Tom and you and Eileen, and Eric was there, and I think the Spags, and anyway, a whole bunch of people were at the house. And we were eating something that was on a paper plate. Kim made pie or something. Don't remember what it was. Not the important part. And everyone's talking. Lots of talking shop. Some of us had only met each other for the first time in this environment, physically and in person. And so it was like this really lots of talk. And then at one point, like this happens in everybody's social circles at some point, for whatever reason, everything comes to a screeching halt conversation-wise. And just nobody has a follow-up, nobody has an add-on. It just goes quiet for a second. And I mean literally, maybe a second is all I gave it. Before I went, watch this, my dog's afraid of plates. And I put a plate on the floor in front of the dog to show everybody how the dog hates plates. And it was 100% this emergency mode thing of like, that's silence. We can't have that. Look what my dog does to a plate. Like I just was, and I even in myself, I saw how ridiculous it was. Like I was like, what are you freaking doing? Like,
that's awesome.
It's horrible.
Everyone's like, oh, good. He saved us from that awkward.
I know.
4.5 seconds.
That void has to be filled. Yeah. It was so close to that. I think that's why it shocked me, because I may as well have just said, look, my thumb's missing or whatever, Like it was so stupid. And at the same time, I realized then that was just going to be my fate. I can't do quiet, or I can't do, I mean, it's actually it benefits me in a podcast way and in a show construction way, because if things go south with an interviewee or things aren't whatever, I can do it. It's like a thing I can do, but I also think maybe it comes from this other weird place, I don't know.
Like slipping around in your head. Okay, so I want you to do this. If anyone is listening and going, do I have this? It's me. I want you to go to this website. I could just put it in the
Ooh, do you know how to copy and paste?
Chat? Yeah.
Do you know
I put my announcement in there too, but I'll just stick it in there. So it's QANDADHD.com. And it's the criteria for adult ADD, and they probably have a children's one in there as well. Yeah. And there's all these sort of self-administered tests that kind of walk you through what to expect. Because I think sometimes people are like, well, I don't know. I probably have a thing. We'll see. I don't know. What do I do about it? So obviously you can bring it up to your regular doctor and see what they would suggest. You could take some of these things and say, oh, wow, like it looks like I meet a lot of this criteria. Mm-hmm. And then it would be interesting maybe to follow up. But you got to look at your life. Like, is this causing problems? Now, everyone is a little distracted. Everyone, I think, Brian, your description of walking around and finding the new thing to do everywhere you go, I just feel like that is modern life.
Yeah, well,
on some level.
But it's probably this modern life. Like it's modern life because of this.
Exactly. Yeah. And so is it harming you? And this is where I would argue everyone is in trouble with these kinds of things for this reason. The harm comes from burning out, or the harm comes from feeling crappy. You never get anything done, right? Like that, never get anything done. And if you're beating yourself up or you feel worthless, like there's some cyclical, dangerous sort of inner world stuff that can happen from some of this. Someone else might be just like, wow, I just ran around all day. Like, got nothing really effective. Whatever, I'll start tomorrow. Okay, great. Well, this isn't a problem for you, right? Mm-hmm. But, if you are having trouble, if there's troubles in your relationship, if you are, you're kind of bright enough, but it doesn't seem to pan out ever, and you're feeling some of these symptoms we described and the disorganization, or like you just can't stay on task or whatever, it might be worth talking to your doctor about and getting it ruled out. Because if it's ruled out and that's not what it is, well, there's some lifestyle behavior changes anyone can do, which is, priming your brain a little differently in the morning. The second you wake up, if you're on your phone scrolling, you have just primed your reward center of your brain to want bits of dopamine.
Oh, right? Gosh dang it. I did that this morning. Gosh dang it.
Yeah,
I got up. I literally,
you've been primed.
I got up. I grabbed my phone just to see if I missed any messages overnight. Why do I need to do that? I don't need to do that.
You don't. And what would help is if it like shocked you. Like if it just literally shocked you.
Yeah. Touching your phone for the first 20 minutes of the day just zaps you.
Yeah.
And then eventually you either fight through the pain or you wait until the timer goes off and the shock stops, and then you can do your thing. But you haven't done other things to prime your brain for a slower reward day. And so that can be, name one person that's not doing this.
Yeah.
Like this is everyone.
Yeah.
So if you are feeling burned out, yes, it's because of a pandemic, but it is also because we are feeding ourselves sort of, dopamine all the time. And so we really are rewarding behaviors that are quick changing attention. Yeah. So we're it's like we're all in the Olympics for ADHD, and we are training, and we will get there if we just keep flipping around. And, I read a funny tweet the other day. It was just like, if it was written like, if screens are bad, why feel so good when I hold little screen in hand and also look at big screen? Like, why does this feel so good?
Yeah.
Well, why it feels so good and why you do it is that you're giving surface attention and you're getting dopamine back.
Yeah.
The things that are meaningful to us. And this is why focus and concentration and getting something done in the bigger sense of things, that's our biggest dopamine hit. That's, we accomplish something. That's that I, kind of value as a person. But if I can never focus long enough to do one of those things, it's pretty damaging to our self-esteem.
Yeah.
Which is really my big kick about ADHD, is that if you had it undiagnosed, there has been an impact on you, probably, and unpacking that can be really valuable.
Yeah, and it's not like and it's a scale as usual, right? Everything's scaled. There's no like. I don't like anything in life. Freaking COVID. You either got a bad case, a mild case, a long COVID case, a death case. Like, it's like, what's the other? Oh, like autism. It's got a giant scale, and you can't just like lump everybody into one little hole. So yeah, I guess that's why doing these things would be a good idea. So you can figure out what little category you inhabit.
Yeah. And if you want to, which would be really fun, is if you went to the attention clinic, Scott, and live streamed it, and then also showed us your brain scan. That'd be cool.
That's some kind of ADD activity there, though.
HIPAA aside, we want to see what your brain looks like trying to focus.
Everything is content. Yep. Yeah. Why not? Well, I look forward to my ADD diagnosis selfies. They'll be coming soon. Watch for that, patrons. All right. Well, before we go, Wendi, you got something cool coming up.
I did. I sent the link in the old chat there.
The old chat there. I'm going to open it up here.
Adam, Real Steps, it's time to party virtually. I'm not sure why it says Adam. But anyway, Adam is ready to party. Probably because he's the author. But anyway, go to the link. And we are doing on the 31st of January, because Real Steps, like you start your New Year's resolution January 1st, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's the opposite of our methodology. You never, ever would start on January 1st. So you start January 31st.
Right.
And it's just a party, and it's free, and it's all the people who have been involved, and then anyone you want to invite to it just will give you a taste of what we do. And it'll be fun, and there's some prizes, and it's going to be a good time.
Yeah,
so
and when do you'll have good internet that day, right? You'll have good internet.
I really hope so. I will plan to be nowhere but.
You're not going to be in where were you? You were in Tennessee or something. That's right, Nashville.
I mean, they don't even have internet in that.
No, it's all country music and barbecue. What do they know down there?
Oh, the barbecue was good.
Yeah, I'll bet.
Yeah, no, it should be fun. So go to that link to just sign up and say you're coming or not. And you can come. It'll be a big Zoom group, right? And you can mute your camera and your thing. There's no reason to show your cute faces yet, but you can
just come hang out,
get a taste, see if it's interesting to you, and we can be helpful.
All right,
in
go
your
check it
lives.
out. It's at realsteps.org. There's this story's linked there in the you guys have like a little blog area, right, or something? Hold on, where is it? Trying to make it easier for people to get to. I can't tell. Well, anyway, if you don't, we'll put it up on the. You know what? We'll put it up on our Twitter as well, just in case it's hard to find. Outside of people who are in our chat room right now, for people at home listening, realsteps.org is the place to go. And that sounds awesome. Very cool, Wendi.
Thank you.
I hope your week is going well and that your attention is not in the deficit. It's not in the red, that it's in the black. Is that how you'd say it? I don't know. Do we owe some attention if we have attention deficit? I guess we do.
Yeah, there's a deficit, right? Exactly.
Do we raise the ceiling on the attention deficit every time?
Right. Yes.
Not close down.
Otherwise,
the
there's a shutdown.
Yeah, they close down the whole government of my brain shuts down. All right.
December.
Have a great week, and we'll see you next time.
See you, Wendi.
All right. Yeah, I totally have some form of this.
Oh, for sure. Yeah,
Probably
I jumped
not.
right to the treatment page of that website she gave us.
Yeah.
There's nothing I can buy on Amazon, I'm afraid. I was like, like, give me a link to some Focusol or something like that. Focusin.
Ooh, ask your doctor if Focusin's right for you.
Exactly. Side effects of Focusin include small shriveled penis.
Small shriveled, barely there penis. All right, that's it for that. We're gonna get out of here. Before we do, though, a couple of quick notes here. We got some shows coming up, and I wanted to mention that tonight. Well, let's talk about afternoon first. So Coverville today. What's going on
this afternoon? Coverville tribute to Ronnie Spector of the Ronettes. Sad to lose her yesterday, so we're going to have a little tribute set for stuff that the Ronettes did. Kings of Leon, lead singer, is celebrating a birthday this week. Also, lead singer of Prefab Sprout. If you're familiar with some weird UK new wave bands that never really made it over here, Prefab Sprout is a great one. One of their albums produced by Thomas Dolby, my favorite of their albums, Jordan the Comeback. And lead singer is a guy named Paddy McAloon, and he's having a birthday. So Prefab Sprout, Kings of Leon, and Ronnie Spector today, 1 p.m. Mountain Time, twitch.tv/Coverville.
If anyone out there doesn't know the name Ronnie Spector, if you're too young or whatever, think of the 80s song by what's his name? Can't think of his name. Eddie Money.
Take Me Home Tonight, where he name checks her.
And
just
she comes in and sings.
Ronnie said.
And she sings. She gets in there.
She sings. Yeah. She's in there. And
that was my first introduction to her because I didn't know about
She sings the refrain from the Ronettes song, Be My Baby, in that song.
Yeah. It was my first introduction to her, and then I went back and I went, oh, look at all this cool stuff she did. She's the voice of the 60s as far as I'm concerned, in a pretty meaningful
certainly
way.
one of them, right?
Yeah,
for sure.
Really good.
And then watch me play Astroneer, get my first taste of No Man's Light.
Yeah, No Man's Light. It'll be great. Core tonight, speaking of video games, was able to get my hands on a PS4, or PS5 rather, and a copy of, what's it called? Ghost of Tsushima, the edition that's PS5 ready. Anyway, been playing that.
You got a PS5 now? Look at you.
Yeah, got a source. Pretty excited. He knows who he is out there. He's one of our listeners. Thank you again, source. I don't know if he wants me saying. Anyway, I'm very excited about it because now we have I can actually have a more authoritative take on this generation by having all the consoles for this generation, which is what I try to do for shows like Core. Yeah. So anyway, a lot to say about that, but also plenty of other things on Core. That's tonight with me, John, and Bo. You can check us out at 5 p.m. Mountain Time if you want to watch it live at frogpants.tv, or you can check the podcast out wherever you get your shows. And a reminder that FilmSack is happening this weekend. We will be doing... what are we doing?
Batman Begins.
Why do I keep forgetting that? Batman Begins. 2005 beginning of Christopher Nolan's take on the Batman universe. So that's this weekend. Yeah. Should be fun. Quick shout out to listener Matthew Johnson, not my brother Matt, but the other Matthew Johnson, an artist and cool dude in our community who had an eye thing happen, and he's in the middle of some surgeries, exploratories, and stuff to get it figured out. Eyes are important, man, and I just feel for him, having dealt with my own issues with my own eyes, and just wanted to give him a shout out and wish him the best as he. It's looking good, by the way. The doctor felt pretty good about what they dug around for, and it seems like he's going to be okay. But it's going to take a while. He's a rad dude, so best of luck in his direction. That's it for the show. Reminder, we get paid by you. You're our bosses, so pay us. Patreon.com/TMS. themorningstream@gmail.com if you have stuff to say. And if you need anything else, it's all linked and housed over there at frogpants.com/TMS. Okay, Brian, we're out of here. Do you have a song at the end?
Well, yes, and speaking of eyes, Baldur wrote in and said, "Hello, Scooby and Benji. I am legally blind, and this January 14th, I turn 48. The last year and a half for me has been incredible for many reasons. In the summer of 2020, I got the news that my application for a guide dog had been accepted, and in September 2020, Nova came into my life and changed it completely. She's a yellow Labrador Retriever, and she's amazing. By the way, there's a link in yesterday's end of show stuff, Scott, from Instagram, if you want to show a picture of the day he met Nova.
What's the Instagram account again? One more time.
It's it's in our show notes from
it's
yesterday.
in the notes.
If you go to yesterday's end of show stuff, because I accidentally put it in there.
Oh, okay. So we just didn't say it yesterday. Okay.
I forgot that I was putting it on today, so I'm like, oh yeah, I'll put that.
No worries. Here it is.
You'll find it while I read.
Yeah.
For many years, I've struggled with depression and anxiety. Living in Iceland, where the darkest winters only have about 4 hours of sunlight, I didn't go out much as I didn't see anything in the dark, or in the sun, for that matter. For my vision, the best weather conditions are gray skies. It took me years to accept my limitations, and about 10 years ago, I started to use a white cane to help me get around. That finally opened my eyes, pun intended, to assistive technologies and how blind and visually impaired should be using these tools for help. It encouraged me to apply for a guide dog. Today, I also work at the Association for the Blind and Visually Impaired in Iceland as an accessibility and assistive technology consultant.
This dog is gorgeous. I want this dog. It looks so nice.
Isn't she a sweetie? Look at her.
Oh, man. That's great.
And after Nova came into my life, she's helped me immensely. We go everywhere together. Weather conditions are no longer a limitation when going outside, although COVID sometimes is. We go for walks every day and listen to TMS while she works and guides me around as I listen to TMS. It's had an incredible effect on my mental and physical health. I've always lived alone, and having someone in your life that you love so deeply and also loves you back so unconditionally has been incredible. I'm looking forward to the coming years of adventures with Nova as we learn to navigate this world together. Could you play us a song on the Thursday show on January 13th? I always listen to the podcast the next day when we go for our walks, so I would hear it on my birthday. I'll just let Brian find me a good corny song about friendship or something like that. I've been a TMS listener since it started and a Frog Pants listener since way back in the ELR days. Thank you guys for all the positivity and joy you give, and I'm looking forward to continuing to listen for many more years. Kind regards, Baldur. Good luck pronouncing that, from Iceland. I hope I pronounced it right.
Oh, that's awesome.
P.S. There's a photo, blah, blah, blah. There you go. All right. So a good corny song about friendship. Well, how about a good horny song? Well, maybe that's not the right word, about friendship. I'm talking about brass instruments, those kind of horns. I don't know what you were thinking, horny people.
Horny people.
This is a cover of the Randy Newman song for Toy Story, You've Got a Friend in Me, performed by Bonorama, probably my favorite brass band. Certainly my favorite named bass band.
Oh, like trombones. I get it. Okay.
Like trombones, exactly.
Okay.
Bonorama, and here's their cover of You've Got a Friend in Me.
This show is part of the Frog Pants Network.
Frog Pants Network.
Get more shows like this at frogpants.com.
Choose one large enough for Johnny to see from the back row.
Oh, okay.
Large enough for Johnny.
Yeah, nothing's large enough for Johnny.
How's this one, Johnny?
Johnny? All right, well done. That dog has got my heart and soul, and I've only seen a still image of it.
No, and that's the day that Baldur met Nova, I'm sure, and that's how excited she was, getting to meet him, and now they're best friends, and it's just so sweet.
That's awesome.
Oh, I didn't do a Randy Newman impersonation. You're right. You've got a friend in me.
Yeah, you can do that. Oh, look at this. Oh man, his glasses he has to wear are insane. Look at that dog. Gosh dang it, they're cute. All right, anyway, I love dogs. Moving on, title time here at the show.
Left foot, right foot, left foot.
Yeah. That's Randy Newman.
That's Randy Newman walking.
Yeah, that's how he gets around.
That's how he gets around.
Regrexit is currently our leader, probably going to be our title.
Oh, I like that. Well, we told the listener who said it to put it in there as a title, and he left and never came back. So Loki Roberts stepped up to the plate.
Damn.
And
Well, we will always remember you, guy's name we don't know. What's his name? Do we know his name?
Jiggerrod or something like that.
Yeah, Jiggerod, sure.
Jiggerod.
I don't like Naked Trapeze is pretty good.
It's a very good one. Two smoking barrels and a monkey.
I couldn't think of a damn name.
1 Adam 12. We have a Snorlax in progress at 5th and Main.
That's good. That's good.
Over.
Who killed Arnold Palmer? I like that. It's pretty good.
That's really good. Yeah.
It's not bad.
Taco Bell fever dreams.
Sure.
Mark Rober, the McGruber we need.
McGruber.
Yeah, I kept thinking Amy was saying Mark Gruber. But it's Rober.
It is Rober. Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's Rober. You're right.
That guy is so damn smart and affable. I want to hate him, but I can't hate him.
It's impossible to hate him. He deserves everything he's getting. So
he does.
He's like he started at NASA, so he's got real credit. Like he's not just some dude with a bunch of funny ideas.
And I really want to see, eradicating porch pirates, one dude at a time.
Yeah, let's just get them all out if we can. That'd be great.
Exactly.
Goo Runs
Street
Uphill.
Ritalin and MORE with Wendi.
That's good. She'll like that one. I always send these to her after when we come up with a good one.
Yeah.
I'm not going there for Tubesteak. That's pretty good.
Hey, it's my white sister.
I don't know why I do that. It's
really
so
funny.
it's so like I don't know. It's stupid. I know it's stupid. No one has to tell me.
What was that question about focus again?
It's good.
Cockney Rhyming Deficit Disorder. Oh, so good.
That's really good. We need one more. Rogue Pit Sweat. I'm calling it.
Pit Sweat.
That's good.
That's good.
All right.
Yeah. Cool.
I think we got all we need. Checked only.
Yeah.
Copy. Okay. Export. Oh, I already. Okay, wait. There we go. Export. Oh my gosh, why is that taking so long?
What an expert. Export the titles and put them in the show and add punctuation.
Before you go.
So
you gotta rhyme. You gotta rhyme that shit. Where's the Wendi? Oh, Street Ritalin with Wendi. I love that they spelled Wendi with an I, like wind. They put the I in the E's place and the Y at the end.
Oh yeah, well, that's not
like
right.
that's not right at all.
I finished Star-Lord. I started and finished Star-Lord yesterday. I need to put up photos of him. He came out great. I've been having problems with Okoye because she is a beautiful bald woman, and I'm trying to do shading on her head that doesn't look like she's got whacked in the head by Killmonger or something.
Oh, yeah. You don't want that.
I don't want that.
You gotta get that detail out of there.
Star-Lord, man, come on. Adventure Galaxy, Adventure Guy Benjamin 006, come on.
You don't like Star-Lord? He's great. What's wrong with
No,
Star-Lord?
that's the joke, is Star-Lord. Who?
Oh.
Come on, man, Star-Lord.
Oh, I get it. Because that's what he says in the thing.
That's what he says. That's what
It's
Chris
been
Pratt
too
says.
long. I need to watch that again before Loki.
See, there's a thing to rewatch. Or, I don't know, maybe watch Ant-Man and the Wasp, because it's got Michelle Pfeiffer in it, and it's really good.
I do like Pfeiffer and good movies.
Yeah.
Why don't I do that? I should do that. Actually, I should
You
do
should
that.
do that.
Kim also has not seen that one, so we're gonna watch that.
Watch that, and now Eternals
Mm-hmm.
is coming to Disney Plus. You'll be able to watch that.
That's soon, right? Ish.
It's next couple days. I think Friday or
Yeah.
Saturday. It's available on Disney Plus.
I can tell you now, being on the other side of that, 100% fine waiting for that to come home. Totally fine. Did not need to go to theaters for it. So I'm good.
No, a lot of people didn't need to go to theaters for it. I thought it was good.
I'm excited to see
adequate.
it.
It was adequate.
I'm going to see it for sure, but after the horrible freaking condition of our theater for Spider-Man, I now realize I could have waited. And I loved the movie. It was amazing. It was great, but I could have waited.
Yeah.
I totally could have waited. It wouldn't have been a problem.
Yeah. Yeah, and listen, if I had your movie experience, I would totally be avoiding movie theaters too.
I need to go check out. I need to see.
Be done.
I need to see if the AMC around here is doing better because I just haven't been there in 10 years or something. But I am done with these guys. Larry Miller stuff can eat a turd. All right, let's do this here read.
Yeah. All right.
Which I'm going to start here in 3, 2, 1. Coming up on TMS, I don't like naked trapeze.
2 smoking barrels and a monkey.
1 Adam 12. We have a Snorlax in progress at 5th and Main.
Who killed Lara? See, I did it. Who killed Arnold Palmer?
Taco Bell fever dreams.
Mark Rober, the McGruber we need.
Always the French.
Goo runs uphill. Goo runs downhill.
I'm not going there for Tubesteak.
Hey, it's my white sister.
What was that question about focus again?
Cockney Rhyming Deficit Disorder.
Rogue Pit Sweat.
Read this with Amy.
Street Ritalin and MORE with Wendi. And more on this episode of The Morning Stream. We had too many mores in there.
Yeah, that was actually in there.
Yeah.
Written in there. 2 mores.
Oops. Well, what are you going to do?
Look at this. I broke our streak. Sorry, our 0-day streak has been broken by me.
That's all right. And then I continued it. So I feel pretty good about that. So I cannot do Taco Bell again today. What should I do? I
can't either. Tina made some potato and cabbage soup like we're living in the blight or something. So I'm going to have that and half a bag of salad.
Oh, it's like Thanksgiving at Claire's house. This is great.
That's right, exactly.
You're going to love
Just
it.
like a Friday night at Claire's house.
Well, I'm a little jealous of that because that sounds homemade and yummy, and I don't think I have any options like that today. So I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm going to try to be smart about it. You know, these veins aren't going to open themselves, so you know, we'll see what we can do. Brian, bye. Everybody else, you know, if you want to hang around, you're welcome to do that because we're going to do Adventure Club today. We're going to continue yesterday's fun, but I do have to end the stream temporarily to do that and then restart the stream. And I know some of you will end up with a commercial. You know, I know there are ad blockers and things, but whatever. It does actually... Well, they don't... I guess those commercials... The ads don't benefit the channels themselves. Other than it helps Twitch exist, you know? But they don't actually go to the person. Which is kind of weird. They should give a percentage of that. I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to do that real quick and then be back shortly, okay? So don't go anywhere.